Hello, this is Matt on the Moon Lambo channel, and it's another beautiful day to be an XRP holder. XRP, at the time that I'm recording this, which by the way is 6:43 p.m. Central Time, Monday, December 2nd, 2024, XRP, what's currently $2.68, and just a bit earlier today, it hit a cycle high of $2.85, damn near 50% up compared to the peak of the last market cycle, and this party hasn't even truly gotten to the most euphoric point, let's say. Now, don't get me wrong, this has been fun. Like, I think it's probably fair to say the party started. You're no longer early. If you're showing up now, you're no longer early. You're coming at a reasonable time, let's say. But where this market peaks, I don't pretend to know, but I suspect it's going to be way higher than this. Now, I'm going to share with you perspective analysis commentary from 12 different XRP chart analysts, 12 different ones, with various price expectations for where we're going to peak this market cycle. And we'll save a couple of the largest ones for the very tail end of this video, so it'll more or less increase as we go through this, while also acknowledging, what current, at least the short-term key resistance levels are. And I got to tell you this, I know we're having a great time here, but I am going to tell you this. There's about a 100% chance that during this bull run, you're going to see a notable pullback in the price of XRP. I tell you that not to scare you, but to insist that it's normal so that when it happens, you don't lose your ever-loving mind. It's going to happen because it happens with every coin that goes on a parabolic rally, which is what we're in right now. It's an insane rally. Love to see it. I anticipated this would come at some point, and here we are. But it will not perfectly go up in a straight line. So if you're afraid on the day that happens, which is going to happen, I'm telling you that, you can come hang out here on the Moon Lambo channel. Uncle Moon Lambo will get you all gathered around the fire, tell you stories, soothe your soul, because it will not be a time to panic. It really won't. It would be weird if we didn't see a pullback, because that would be the first time that happened in the cryptocurrency asset class for any asset. You have to expect it. So anyway, let's get that out of the way, because it makes more sense right now, frankly, to be very excited. And there's not like a crazy amount of resistance ahead of us to get closer to an all-time high. Well, you'll see, though. But before going further, I do want to be clear, I do not have a financial background of any kind. I am not offering financial advice. And you definitely should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. I'm just an enthusiast who enjoys making YouTube videos about crypto-related topics, but just as a hobby and just for fun. By the way, as I record this, Bitcoin is just a little over $96,000. Look at this, market cap for the asset class, $3.5 trillion. You gotta love that, with XRP accounting for 153 billion of that. My God, look at this freaking volume. 42 billion with a B, dollars over the last 24 hours. That's not far from Bitcoin at 63 billion. That's just absolutely insane. XRP in the number 3 slot, you probably heard that by now, but back in its rightful spot. I'll not be surprised if it, even if just for some period of time, ends up in the number 2 slot. If that happens, I'll not be surprised. Crypto Fear and Greed Index, 76 out of 100, so we are still in extreme greed. Now, if this were an XRP only index, it would probably be like 99.5. We're doing well right now. Here's a post from June 7th from chart analyst Bobby A. Here, I'll make it full screen for you. He shared this chart, XRP USD chart, and he wrote, "This one is going to slap hard. It's always been about the first bullish momentum reset on the monthly post Bitcoin halving for XRP." And so I just want to note, this is one more example of how any analyst that has been paying attention, and anybody, just regular people, because I'm not an analyst myself, anybody, regular people like you and I who just paying attention, we knew that there was a virtual certainty this was going to happen, even though we didn't know exactly what day it would be. But we knew that it would start going eventually in all probability. And so, this didn't catch me by surprise. Probably didn't catch most of you by surprise. But chart analyst Tech Dev, who I think is one of the best out there, he's just so data-driven. I'm a huge fan of that. I've been following him for probably like half a decade or so, I'm guessing. 485,000 followers. Well, he responded a couple days later on June 9th, 2024. And he wrote, "Nice look, brother. Interestingly, the only time monthly volatility was this low for XRP was March 2017. Wouldn't you know it? So maybe that would be worth knowing, because when it comes to how things progress chart-wise, history doesn't literally repeat, but it kind of rhymes with itself. And so that's one more thing you could look at. Look at that volatility, where it's at. Because March 2017, that's when XRP had its run from about half a penny to 42 cents for the first time in history. That's what it did. And then it cooled off for half a year and then ran towards the end of 2017 into early 2018. But that volatility, like that should have made it reasonable to suppose that perhaps we're in a very similar situation, because humans, on the whole, keep behaving roughly the same over and over and over again when it comes to how they treat investments. So that would have been reasonable. So the same is true for Bitcoin, ETH. So of course it applies to XRP. And so that post from TechDev was retweeted by TechDev just this morning. And he wrote, "Not sure what everybody expected after XRP squeezed for 7 years and saw its highest monthly compression in history. Focus on the charts and the narratives will follow, not the other way around. Applies to all asset classes." Spot on. So don't let anybody say that, you're just lucky and there's no way we could have known this was coming. No, it was a virtual certainty in my mind that this was going to happen. Of course. My only caveat ever was that it won't happen if there's a black swan event, which to this point certainly has not happened. And the market's picking up. We've seen the expansion in terms of breadth, including with the Russell 2000, small cap stocks, right? Which always happens in tandem with alt season. So the fact that you're seeing, it should have been instilling tons of confidence. And here we are. And then we get this chart. I love this post. This is from the blockchain backer. It's the market cap XRP chart. Look at that freaking green candle. Insane. There's never been anything like that. Not quite like that in the history of XRP. Look at that. And he wrote here, all these years, and it really ended up looking like that. So that was the dream. That's what we wanted to happen. I always believed it would be something like that, and here we are. And I know that in terms of XRP price against the dollar, yeah, we still need to hit a new all-time high. And the reason that this is the biggest green candle in history is because we're talking about market cap, and the way market cap is calculated is you take the circulating supply times the current market price, and there's a higher circulating supply than there was, say, back in 2017. So that's why you're seeing that. But this is preceding another gigantic move for XRP that will probably look pretty similar, I would guess, in terms of dollars. Like, that's coming next. Isn't it just beautiful to see that after all of the haters, all of the nonsense, and all the fear and the attacks from the SEC on this entire community on a global scale, and there we are. Freaking glorious. Here's a post from Dr. Magic, chart analyst. Just this morning, he wrote, "No big dips until new all-time highs," which is less than 20%, by the way. So again, just like I was saying at the outset of the video, not that I want to focus on this too much, but there will be a dip. And it might scare the hell out of some of you, but I'm telling you, you should expect it. It would be bizarre, and the first time in history, in the asset class, that there weren't a dip if there weren't one here. It's not going to happen. There's going to be one, and it's not going to. It doesn't mean it's the end of the party. The best is yet ahead. New all-time highs is what I'm expecting. Price discovery, melting faces, the whole 9 yards. Here is this post. Now, this is interesting. Chart analyst Dom. So when we were pushing up against like $1.61, when that was the notable resistance to discuss at the time, which we did bounce off of, there's like a 40 million XRP sell wall that he was talking about, chart analyst Dom here. And we did fall down to, I think, about $1.30 or so for XRP after that. And then we ended up plowing through it. But the next time we made that attempt, people had already sold. And so there were only 4 million XRP instead of 40 million XRP. And once you know it, melted through it. Absolutely, it was a melt up. We did it yet again here. And so it's just, if there's not that many people trying to sell XRP and you're just left with a bunch of people that, are like they're on the demand side, well, the number go up, right? If there's no sellers in a world where there hypothetically are no sellers and there's just people that want to buy, number go up pretty damn quick. So when there's fewer people wanting to sell, that can be a hint as to what's most likely. So it wasn't surprised the first time that resistance held. And now, of course, we broke through it, that $1.61 range. And then there's been other levels since then. But he cited $2.75 here. And this post, this is from this morning, by the way. Order book update for XRP. Once that's taken out, $2.75 comes next. Coinbase and Kraken order book is clear to $3. But we have just met 14 million of major sell walls on Binance. That's going to be the main battle to reach $3. And so we did briefly pop up to $2.85. And this is a fluid environment to whatever degree, of course. But ultimately, is anybody doubting like whether or not XRP is going to hit a new all-time high this cycle? Or can we be done with that question? Like it's going to happen. That's a virtual certainty at this point, so far as I'm concerned. So we'll get there. He's just warning, hey, here's what the resistance looks like as a result of people that have sell orders on these exchanges. Not the end of the world. We've chewed through worse than this in the past. And that's why also, he's one of the guys that said, after you break that $2 range, there's like almost no reason. Not that there's none, but there's almost no resistance. And so that's how we've jumped up so quickly from under $2 to $2.85 in like a day. Insanity, I know. But it shouldn't be that surprising given that they're in that range. Not a ton of people wanting to sell. Here's a post from chart analyst Mikey Bull Crypto. XRP approaching the 2017 all-time high. The real fun will be after it breaks into a new all-time high. $10 seems kind of good here for a cycle top. Yeah, so that will be a notable resistance level. Obviously, maybe we bounce off at first. I think eventually we're going to chew through it. And I don't make price predictions. I don't know if he's right about a $10 top. I can't help but wonder if that's too conservative, and it kind of depends on how much money flows into the whole space, including with Bitcoin, which would ultimately rotate into XRP and other coins. But anybody that's calling for double-digit XRP, not crazy to me. I don't know if it's going to happen. Seems pretty reasonable. There are lots of people talking about $20 or $30 XRP roughly. Doesn't sound crazy to me. Now, again, it depends on how much money flows into the space, but this thing's been so damn suppressed for so long. I don't think we're near the top. I don't, even at these levels. Then there's also this from chart analyst Crypto Michael. He seems to agree. He says, the real XRP FOMO starts when it breaks all-time high. And that is true. Just like I've been saying recently, nobody wanted XRP a month ago when it was 49 cents, but they sure as hell want it now that it's almost $3. Well, same thing here. Hitting the all-time high and having a new all-time high, that's going to garner a ton of new attention from all sorts of people. And I know it's ridiculous. People feel validated purchasing something that's heading up currently. They just do. Feel like, oh, this must be a smart and good and safe investment. When it would have been the best to purchase it when it was way cheaper, when there was fear in the market. But that doesn't mean there's not opportunity, even at these levels. Like I just said, I think it goes way higher. But this is how humans behave. So wait till we hit all-time high and it starts spiking even further, and then, liquidity begets liquidity. It's just how it is, man. It's just how it is. You'll love to see it. Here's another post from Bobby A. from just this afternoon. People have no idea how quickly XRP can be trading above $5, and it shows. Okay, yeah, I buy that concept. I mean, if you've been paying attention, you just saw what happened over the last 24 to 48 hours. XRP was a rocket ship. It's not done being a rocket ship, right? You just wait. And again, there will be pullbacks along the way, but you just wait. Here's a post from Ral Paul, chart analyst, former Goldman Sachs executive, and I highlighted in a very recent video how he had in August was warning people against holding XRP, warning that you might miss the bull run. And I said my whole piece on that, so I don't want to repeat it here. I gave him credit because credit was due. He said that he was wrong, and then all of us that were holding XRP were obviously right. He has changed his tune to this point. And I always thought it was silly because, of course, it makes sense to hold a bunch of large cap coins and have diverse exposure to this entire asset class because you don't know for sure what's going to pop and when. So you just have the exposure, which is why I hold a ton of different cryptocurrencies, right? And so that always seemed weird to me, but he's come around and he acknowledges, yeah, this could go way, way, way higher. And I do think he's one of the more insightful individuals in the space, which is why I was very surprised by his comments in August. But credit where it's due again. I'm a huge fan of him, and he has come around on this. And he shared this post this morning, XRP USD chart, and you can see that you can see what he's highlighting. Look at where we are right now in the cycle versus 2017. Breaking out of the symmetrical triangle. Anyway, so he says, you've got to admit, XRP is a good-looking chart. Last time it broke a long wedge pattern, it rose another 5,600%. Obviously, it won't repeat, but you get the point. It can go up a lot. Yeah, and so I agree with that. Throw the percentages out, but in terms of dollar figures, yeah, way higher than the all-time high from almost 7 years ago at this point. I would agree with that. Here's a post from Charting Guy. This is an XRP BTC pair on your screen, but he's talking about XRP reaching a certain level against Bitcoin and what that would mean in terms of dollars. So he writes, I would say XRP BTC goes to at least 0.00008, also known as $8 XRP at $100,000 Bitcoin. So he's saying if it goes to that level, then if Bitcoin's worth $100,000, that would put XRP at $8. Now, I think that Bitcoin's going to go a fair bit higher than that. I don't know how high. A lot of the reputable analysts that I follow think that the most reasonable bet is like, maybe close to $150,000, something a little lower, something a little higher. If it gets to even just to there, and it could go higher, but if it goes even just to there, that number for XRP would be higher than $8, very obviously. Here's a post from chart analyst Crypto Wizard, and he said, on the verge of a new all-time high, and this is just this afternoon. Do you think that KISS is normal? The entire ride from 60 cents I have called target by target for XRP. $2.60 has broken as promised. Bring on a new all-time high. $3.65 comes above $3. So another key level to watch, which frankly we're not that far from. And then 365, yep, just a matter of time. Then there's this from chart analyst Dark Defender. XRP USD chart on your screen. He says, here is the weekly update on XRP. People began to believe in XRP after our first target was eliminated at $1.88. Fibonacci's level stands at $5.85. And so he's been insisting on this level for pretty much this entire year. Seems a lot more reasonable now to some people who were the deniers out there, doesn't it? Just a matter of time, folks. And then he notes that significant supports, which were previously resistance, $1.88 and $2.13. And he says that this is the road to $18.22. He does think we're going to see double digits. He does think we're getting up above $18 this market cycle. And he could be right. I mean, who am I to say no to that? I mean, like, depends, like I keep saying, how much money is going to flow into the space. But we've seen stuff like that with other cryptos that were somewhat similarly situated in terms of the amount of money, in terms of market cap. Specifically, of course, Bitcoin and ETH. Yes, it can happen. Here's a post from chart analyst Steph is Crypto, and he's been talking about this level for quite a while. And mind you, so like the price of XRP was $2.35 when he posted this in the morning, but he says still at least a 13x to come for XRP. So he's ultimately targeting that level of just over $33. Now again, I'm not counting that as my base case, that's for damn sure, but if enough money flows in, that ain't crazy. It could happen, I just don't know if it will. That would be like a pretty notable stretch goal for this cycle in my mind, but I could be wrong. I mean, some people think it's going to go higher than that, and okay. I will be happy to be wrong because I want all of you to make a ton of money, right? And even though I'll have sold pretty much all of my XRP, that's a virtual certainty before this, I will be cheering on and making these YouTube videos still, cheering all of you on selling at prices higher than me, and that's perfectly fine. Just depends on what your risk profile is as to, what you're shooting for here. So you guys know what you think, but is it sinking in that this is real life? Like this is really happening here? Because it's kind of getting there for me. Like it feels more real, or like, less surreal. Certainly gets about that's the same thing, I guess, compared to yesterday. But the weirdest part will be when I finally sell XRP for the first time. But I refuse to do that below the all-time high. So we can talk more about exit strategies in a different video. But man. There's so much to look forward to, and this is really happening. I'm very excited to see where this goes. I'm not a financial advisor. You should not buy or sell anything because of anything I say or write. That would be a very, very, very bad idea. Until next time, to the moon, Lambo.